We've finally gotten the first official reaction from Becky Hammon after Jalen Brunson led the Knicks to a championship. And he didn't just win the title, he closed out the San Antonio Spurs on the road with 45 points as the clear #1 option, the exact role Becky once questioned whether he could handle. What's interesting is that Brunson has already addressed the situation more than once. He's responded to the criticism and the conversation surrounding those comments as his career continued to rise. But now the spotlight shifts back to Becky because we finally have her response after watching Brunson accomplish what many people doubted he could. And for anyone who hasn't been following this story from the beginning, let's take a step back and revisit how we got here and some of the key moments that led to this point.
Philadelphia, that includes Boston, that includes the Milwaukee Bucks. So how stuck do you think the Knicks are here in the Eastern Conference?
Well, I certainly agree with you. They're not getting into that tier. They don't have enough personnel. They don't have the manpower that they need to hang with those guys. I think you're going to get a consistent team like they've been. They're a pretty good team. They're well coached. They're going to be on their defensive game. But at the end of the day, they don't have a dude. You got to have a dude. You got to have a 1A dude. And they're missing that at the end of the day if we're just getting down to brass taxes. Sorry.
I didn't want to disagree with Becky today, but they do have that dude.
Who?
Jalen Brunson.
No, he's too small.
But here's the thing, and that's
Didn't they say about you?
But you know
they
what?
Say that about you. You're a Hall of Famer.
You know what?
I got a philosophy. Can I say my philosophy?
Go ahead.
If your best player is small, you're not winning. John Stockton, Allen Iverson, Steve Nash. You could go down the list. Steph Curry is the only.
But he's not that small. He's not that small. He's like 6'3".
But also, though, I mean, he's the greatest shooter to ever walk the planet. He's in an outlier class.
Okay.
Knicks fans. For what?
You're taking a little bit of grief from what you said about Jalen Brunson.
You are. I'm not big in that.
I never said, hey.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying.
No,
I
mean, I speak from experience, and I never, Allen Iverson got MVP, and he lost in the finals, and I think the two best teams are probably in the West. But I'm up for being proven wrong. And that's the other thing is I think Jalen Brunson's a hell of a player, I'm speaking historically on the NBA. With what I said, I don't know why that's being brought, why everybody's so stuck on that. I said it 2 years ago. I stand by it.
I'm letting you clear the air.
There's no air to be cleared. I said what I said. He proves me wrong. He proves me wrong. I mean, good for him. But I do think the two best teams are in the West.
We know who you like, right?
Oh, well, you know who I'm cheering for.
Now that you're NBA champion, what's your message for people saying that you're not a 1A guy?
I didn't respond to them then. I'm damn sure not going to respond to them now.
Thank you, Jalen.
Thank you.
There's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions. But when you prove them wrong, you really don't have to say to them. Nah, they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
I'm not naming names. I'm still waiting for somebody to say they was wrong about someone who led our team to a final championship in 53 years. I'm still waiting for something. So, I know they have media availability, so we'll be waiting for that apology.
When the championship conversation started after Jalen Brunson led New York to the title, a lot of old takes came back into the spotlight, and Becky Hammon isn't backing away from hers. According to Marlene Kenny, Becky Hammon said Brunson proved history wrong and called him an outlier. She even said you can now put his name alongside Steph Curry and Isaiah Thomas because of what he accomplished. She praised the way he played, especially late in games, and made it clear she wasn't apologizing for her opinion. Her stance was basically simple. That's what she's paid to do, give her opinion, and she's sticking with it. Honestly, I respect that more than people who completely abandon their takes after the fact. That said, the reason her original take doesn't hold up anymore is because Brunson actually did what she said he couldn't do. If your position was that only guys like Isaiah Thomas and Steph Curry could lead a team to a title in that way, then Brunson just added his name to that conversation. At that point, you have to admit he proved you wrong. Jalen Brunson has shown for years that winning follows him around. He won in high school, he won 2 national championships in college, he won with Team USA, and almost everywhere he's played, his teams have found success. Sure, the NBA is a different level entirely, but once the roster around him started coming together, it was fair to at least leave open the possibility that he could be the exception. You could have said there weren't many examples of players his size doing it. That would have been a reasonable argument, because he still had something to prove. But completely writing him off because he's a smaller guard is where the criticism comes from. That's why Brunson and people around him have reacted the way they have. And yeah, I understand Becky Hammon doesn't feel like she owes anyone an apology. She's from that San Antonio basketball background, and historically the evidence was on her side. Most championship teams haven't been led by smaller guards. For a long time, that's just how the league worked. But the modern NBA has given us exceptions. Steph Curry did it. Now Jalen Brunson has done it too. And that's why this achievement stands out so much. What Brunson accomplished wasn't just about winning a championship. He did it in New York. That's a different kind of spotlight. A lot of stars have flirted with the idea of taking on that challenge. Some considered it, some talked about it, but very few actually embraced everything that comes with playing in the league's biggest market. The pressure is relentless. The media attention never stops. Every bad game becomes a story. Every losing streak becomes a debate. Brunson never seemed bothered by any of it. When things went wrong, he didn't run from the criticism. He just kept showing up, playing his game, and accepting whatever came with the results. That's one of the things that separates him. His temperament never changes. He handles the pressure, goes to work, and lets his play do the talking. And now, after leading New York to a championship, that's exactly why so many of those old opinions are being revisited. One thing that stands out about this Knicks group is that they seem built for New York. I remember people getting on Josh Hart for costly turnovers late in games. There were stretches where Jalen Brunson was criticized for taking too many shots and not involving teammates enough. And then there was Karl Anthony Towns, who carried the too soft label for years before arriving in New York. Now he's permanently connected to the team that delivered the franchise's first championship in 53 years. That's a pretty dramatic shift.
When you look at the core of this roster, a lot of these guys weren't originally viewed as franchise-changing pieces where they started. OG Anunoby came over from Toronto. Jalen Brunson left Dallas after the Mavericks didn't believe he was worth that 4-year deal. Josh Hart started his career in Los Angeles and eventually made stops elsewhere before finding a home in New York. Mikal Bridges began with Phoenix, reached the finals, spent time in Brooklyn, put up big scoring numbers there, and eventually landed with the Knicks. Then there's Towns. After Minnesota reached the conference finals and fell short, he became the player many people pointed to. The Timberwolves moved on, and now he's part of a championship team in New York. That's part of what makes this story so interesting. A lot of these players arrived carrying questions, criticism, or disappointment from previous stops. Instead of folding under the pressure, they embraced one of the toughest markets in sports. And New York is not a place that gives anyone a free pass. If you're struggling, everybody hears about it. If you're succeeding, everybody knows about it too. That's why this championship feels different. This wasn't a roster full of players who were universally viewed as perfect stars. It was a collection of guys who had been doubted at different points in their careers and found the right situation together. Even players further down the roster, guys who came from different organizations in different circumstances, contributed to building something special. And at the center of it all was Jalen Brunson. Whether people agreed with Becky Hammon's original take or not, Brunson answered the question on the court. He led the team as the top star and brought a championship to New York. That's why so many people feel he deserves a different level of respect now. As for Becky Hammon, she's standing by what she said. Whether fans agree with that or not, that's where she stands. At the end of the day, Brunson and the Knicks gave the final response by winning it all.